budget hearing is resumed. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, of course, to our Honorable, Her Excellency, Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Thank you very much, ma'am, for being here today. Thank you to the members of the Committee on Appropriations and other House members who are present here in today's hearing. Committee Secretary, please acknowledge the resource persons and the House members present here in today's hearing.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair. May we acknowledge Her Excellency Sara Z. Duterte, Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines. Good morning, ma'am. And may we also acknowledge the members present, former President and Representative Gloria Macapagal Arroyo, 2nd District of Pampanga, Chair Micaela N. de las Wansing, Deputy Majority Leader Gil Cabarangay Acosta, Senior Deputy Minority Leader Edgar Irice, Deputy Minority Leader Antonio Tino, Deputy Majority Leader Munir Arbison Jr., Deputy Majority Leader Patrick Michael Vargas, Deputy Speaker Yaser Alonto Balindong, Deputy Majority Leader and Vice Chair Jam Baronda, Deputy Majority Leader Jose Bong Tebes Jr., Vice Chair Jose Alvarez, Vice Chair Jeriboy Espina, Vice Chair Monique Lagdameo, Vice Chair Reynante Arrogancia, Vice Chair Rodolfo Ordanes, Vice Chair Arthur Celeste, Vice Chair Dante Garcia, Vice Chair Dichitina Pancho, Vice Chair Loreto Amante, Vice Chair Johan Muniz Bautista, Vice Chair Maria Cristina Talavera Lopez, Vice Chair Joseph Tan, Vice Chair Dale Corvera, Vice Chair Keith Migatan, and the following members: Representative Dibo Tuan, Representative Rene Cu, Representative Isidro Ungab, Representative Leo Rodriguez, Assistant Minority Leader Robert Nazal, Representative Gerdy Veloso, Assistant Majority Leader Mark Santos, Representative Paulo Marcoleta, and Assistant Majority Leader Lionel Jong Zeniza. That's all, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ComSec. Her Excellency Sara Zimmerman Duterte, to our House members present here today, to the members of the Committee on Appropriations, to our partners in the civil society organizations, and to all of the guests present here today, good morning. Today, we deliberate on the proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President for fiscal year 2026. We are grateful that present here today to present the proposed budget is no less than the Vice President herself. Thank you very much, Madam Vice President, Your Excellency. Thank you very much for being here today. Today, we deliberate on the proposed allocation of 902.895 million pesos for the Office of the Vice President under the fiscal year 2026 National Expenditure Program. The Office of the Vice President, as the second highest position in the land, bears a mandate of national importance and a responsibility that extends to all Filipinos. It is therefore incumbent upon this committee to review with utmost care how this proposed budget sustains the office's mandates, supports its ongoing programs, and aligns with the priorities of the government as reflected in the President's 8-point socio-economic agenda in the Philippine Development Plan. In this spirit, we shall proceed with the deliberations, but before I yield the floor to Her Excellency Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, I would first like to recognize the Vice Chairperson of the Committee on Appropriations who will be sponsoring the budget of the Office of the Vice President, the Honorable Vice Chairperson Jose Pepito Alvarez.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, ma'am. To clear the air, opening statement is last Friday, hindi po si Vice President Sara Duterte ang no-show. Ako po ang nag-request para i-defer kasi schedule ko kaagad ng Tuesday today at 9 o'clock. Kaya nandito tayo ngayon to deliberate on the budget request of the Office of the Vice President. So hindi po, wala pong speculation na no-show si Madam Sara, Vice President Sara Duterte noong Friday. Ako po ang nag-request na para i-defer. Ayun. So the air is now clear. I'd like to ask Her Excellency, Madam Vice President, to make her presentation.
Honorable Congresswoman Swansing, I do not have an opening remarks. We'll just proceed to the presentation prepared by the Office of the Vice President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. COMSEC, please play the presentation of the Office of the Vice President.
Behind every milestone are the stories of countless Filipinos whose lives have been touched by the Office of the Vice President. We are committed to bringing tangible change directly to those who need it most. Recognizing that peace is built on hope and opportunity, the OVP made the strategic decision to bring its Pagbabago program to Patikul Sulu, a former battleground.
Mahirap talaga noon. Nakaranas kami sobra. Pati yung maghanap buhay, sobra talaga ang naranasan namin. Pero iba na ngayon. Maganda na yung sitwasyon natin ngayon. Nakabalik na kami dito.
By providing students with the tools they need to succeed, the OVP empowers them with a sense of dignity, inspiring them to learn and giving them a renewed sense of hope for their education and their future. The Pagbabago campaign is a two-pronged investment in our future. We have distributed over 400,000 bags and planted close to 1 million trees across the country. Our operational excellence and financial discipline ensure every peso counts. The women of Barangay Adia received a 150,000 peso grant and generated a remarkable profit of 102,000 pesos in just 4 months. Our grants are strategically distributed to ensure maximum impact. Group enterprises receive an average grant of 150,000 pesos, while individual beneficiaries are provided with 15,000 pesos, ensuring every peso supports the right scale of enterprise.
Madami na pong mga gobyerno na nakaupo, wala pa hong nag-alok sa samahan ng mga kababaihan. Nawa po ay marami pa po kayong matulungan ng mga samahan, katulad po ng aming samahan.
For many survivors of Typhoon Yolanda, a new home came with a new challenge, the daily struggle of commuting. The OVP's Libreng Sakay bus was the answer. Libreng Sakay alleviates the financial burden on working Filipinos and gives them back a sense of comfort and safety.
Ay naku, napakalaking tulong ho. Napakalaking ginawa, especially sa mga estudyante pa rin. Katulad ko, meron akong high school. Mag-high school ngayon, masaya ng libre na.
Since 2022, the Libreng Sakay program has provided over 2.5 million free rides. This program gives a much-needed financial break to workers and students in key cities across the Philippines. The OVP launched the Janaza Kit initiative in the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in Muslim Mindanao. This tailored support provides essential items for Islamic funeral rites. Ensuring cultural sensitivity is a cornerstone of our service, providing dignity during a time of grief.
Napakagandang inisyatibo ito ng ating VP. Ang kahalaga nito sa amin, mandatory po ito sa amin. Kahit walang-wala kami, dapat hanapin namin ng paraan para makabili lang kami ng ganito. Kaya kung may ganito na, ay naku, alhamdulillah, napakalaking tulong po sa amin. Kasi hindi po kami maghihirap.
Our medical and burial assistance programs have provided a lifeline for Filipinos in their time of need. Our presence on the ground is a promise to the people, ensuring vital services are delivered directly where they are needed. The OVP's Disaster Operations Center has assisted over 369,831 families in their most vulnerable moments. We complement local response teams in mobilizing resources to save lives and rebuild communities. Our focus is on quality and impact. The You Can Be VP program mentors our future leaders. The Kalusugan food truck delivers hot meals to frontliners. And our RISE program provides food security to families in crisis. These achievements are not ours alone. We work hand in hand with government agencies, LGUs, NGOs, and the private sector, leveraging resources for a broader, more sustainable impact. Our commitment is embodied by our 10 satellite offices, strategically located across the archipelago, ensuring that Filipinos in remote areas receive timely and accessible services. The Office of the Vice President remains steadfast in its mission to serve, to uplift, and to empower every Filipino. Together, let us work towards a stronger, more resilient, and more inclusive nation.
Thank you. We proceed to the PowerPoint presentation.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is slide 1. This is the 2026 proposed budget of the Office of the Vice President. Next slide. This is the cover slide. Next slide. This is the approved budget of the Department of Budget and Management for the National Expenditure Program submitted to the House of Representatives, 902,895,000. Next slide. Next slide. So this is by class. Personal services is 23.54% of the entire budget, and that is 212,538,000. Next slide. Yes. So this is the breakdown of PS. Salaries and wages, that's 151,652,000. Other compensations, that is 27,670,000. Other bonuses and allowances, 16,036,000. Other personal benefit contributions, 3,217,000. Other personal benefits, 304,000. RLIP is 13,659,000. By MOOE, it is 673,753,000, or 74.62% of the budget. And this is the breakdown. Travel expenses, 56 million. Training expenses, 3 million. Supplies and materials expenses, 288 million. Utility expenses, 8 million. Communication expenses, 10 million. Awards, rewards, and expenses of 500,000. Extraordinary and miscellaneous expenses, 620,000. Professional services, 64,237,000. General services, 39,575,000. Repairs and maintenance, 11,600,000. Financial assistance and subsidies, 39,600,000. Taxes and insurance and other premiums, 2,250,000. Representation expenses, 59,104,000. Transportation and delivery expenses, 12,687,000. Rent and lease expenses, 57 million. Other MOOE, 1,405,000. Subscription expenses and others, 19,891,000, for a total of 673,753,753,000. . And this is capital outlay of 16.604 million or 1.84% of the budget. It is all for ICT equipment of 16,604,000. This is an upgrade duly approved by the Department of the ICT. Duly approved by the ICT. By appropriation source, so this is agency specific. For the agency, it's 889,236,000, and then for RLIP, it's 13,695,000. So these are our 2026 targets per activity. We have Magnegosyo Taday individual. Our target beneficiaries is 1,980 for the amount of 29,700,000. Magnegosyo Taday, for groups, we have targeted 66 groups for 9,900,000. For the Pagbabago campaign, we targeted 200,000 learners, and that is 100 million. Disaster operation, 55,000 families for 55 million. This is the food bags during disasters, and we have targeted 50,000 individuals and or families, and that is 50 million. Kalusugan food truck during disaster operations, we targeted 1,800 first responders, and that is 1,620,000. Libreng Sakay, we target 1,200,000 commuters in the amount of 16,363,000. And then the You Can Be VP program, we targeted 2 learners, and that is for the amount of 1 million. And for the wheelchair distribution of 1,160 clients for 5,800,000, and other supplies, as an example, the Al-Janaza kits that you saw in the AVP, we targeted 1,160 clients for 5,800,000 for a total amount of 275,183,000. So this is the comparative annual budget and the proposed 2026 budget by allotment class. So from the year 2024 in the GAA, the total was 700,019,000. In 21, the approved budget in the GAA was 908,790,000. In 2022, the approved budget in the GAA was 713,408,000. In 2023, the approved budget in the GAA was 2,356,614. In 2024, in the GAA, it was 1,885,462,000. And for 2025, the approved budget in the GAA was 744,146,000. In 2026, as I mentioned, the approved from DBM for the NEP is 902,895,000. So this is the comparative budget in the as a graph. These are the projects of the Magnegosyo Taday, medical and burial assistance, disaster response operations. You Can Be VP, Kalusugan food trucks, Magnegosyo Taday, Libreng Sakay, the Tondo Manila Extension Office, the Bicol Region Satellite Office, Eastern Visayas Satellite, the Cagayan Valley in Isabela City, Pangasinan in Dagupan City, Tondo in Manila, Legazpi City in Bicol, Tacloban City in Eastern Visayas, for Cebu, Bohol, and Siquijor in Cebu City, Panay and Negros Islands in Bacolod City, Caraga in Butuan City, Barm in Cotabato City, Western Mindanao in Zamboanga City, and Southern Mindanao in Davao City. This is the 2024 physical performance. These are the socio-economic program deliveries. We targeted 1,013,620 beneficiaries, and we accomplished 1,780,079. Next slide. This is the financial performance of the Office of the Vice President as of end December or December 31. So the allotment is 2,084,451,000. The obligation is 1,783,287,000. Disbursements were at 1,534,228. And then we have balances, an obligated allotment of 301 million and unpaid obligations of 249 million. So this is the targets for the performance of the year 2025. So currently, the cutoff is July 31, 2025. Our target is for the entire year is 1,047,935, and our first semester accomplishment is at 595,757. So we're more than halfway of our targets. This is the financial performance of the Office of the Vice President for the year 2025. Approved is 903,429,000. The obligation is 309,691,000. Disbursements at 206,834,000. Unobligated allotment is at 593,738,000, and unpaid obligations at 102,857,000. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. The committee invites questions from the members, particularly on the utilization of the previous budget and the proposed allocation for fiscal year 2026. In accordance with the long-standing and respected tradition of the House of Representatives to accord preferential treatment to the minority members, followed by the independent and majority, wala nang majority, in alternating manner, the chair now recognizes the minority.
Madam Chair.
Yeah.
We'd like to recognize the Senior Deputy Minority Leader, Egay Erice.
Madam Chair, we in the minority believe that there are no contentious issues in the budget of the Office of the Vice President, especially in the 2025 to 2026 budget of the said agency. Much that we would like to honor the tradition that we extend to the Office of the Vice President, there are two members of the minority who would like to ask questions. Kaya po, in the interest of the rights of some of our members, may I yield the floor to two members, Representative Trino and Representative Ko, to propound their questions. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Is it all right?
Madam Chair, to the presiding officer, sir, before we proceed, I just want to be clarified with the status of the votation we have had last Friday, when we all agreed that Tuesday, which is today, we will grant parliamentary courtesy. This is the long-standing traditional parliamentary courtesy granted to a co-equal branch or a higher official of the government. Let me be just clarified before we proceed.
Last Friday's, there was no votation, Congressman Ongab. So we proceed as planned today.
I understand there was a votation, and in fact, it was objected by the two members of minority of the minority.
No,
Notwithstanding,
we failed to divide the House.
Yes, but I think we have agreed that last Friday we will provide parliamentary courtesy to the office of the Vice President.
Yes, the request of the minority is just two interpellators. It is up for Madam President, Madam Vice President, if she wants to answer or not.
Just one more manifestation to the chairperson and to the presiding officer. Also last Friday, I reiterated that this long-standing tradition of granting parliamentary immunity has been practiced through all the former vice presidents that I have experienced in this chamber. And the tradition is granted first to the co-equal branch of the government, and it is on the part of the president or the vice president or to the co-equal branch of government who will reply that he is waiving, that he or she is waiving his parliamentary inquiry. So I think it would be proper and fitting that we would ask first the Vice President if she's willing to...
Mr. Chair, may I be recognized?
I think I still have the floor.
So there's a question whether or not we should afford. Yes, we have discussed last Friday to afford the second highest position of the land, parliamentary courtesy. But at the request of the minority, they just want to ask, two of the minority members just want to ask questions, and it is the prerogative of the Madam Vice President to answer or not. Is that clear?
So that clarifies my question. We will be asking the Vice President to answer or not the question.
Madam Vice President, can we go ahead?
Madam Chair, yes, Madam Chair, just an inquiry.
My apologies, Representative Marcoleta. Her Excellency
Just
was about to respond to the query before we recognize you. Let's please yield the floor to the Vice President as she was about to make a response to that. Your Excellency, if you would like to respond, po.
Yes, I waive the privilege, sir.
You waive?
Yes.
We now recognize Minority Leader Congressman Antonio Tenio.
Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Magandang umaga po sa Office of the Vice President at sa Vice President. Well, unang tanong po ay kaugnay sa presentation na binigay ng Vice President. Napansin ko po roon nasa budget na 903.4 million for 2025. Bagaman hindi pa po tapos ang taon, ang obligation rate po ay 34.3% lamang at ang disbursement rate ay 66.8%. So nasa kalagitnaan po tayo ng taon, pero mukhang mababa po yung obligation rate. Ano po ang paliwanag dito?
Yes, marami kaming procurement na tumagal. Hindi siya nasimulan by January, Madam Chair, yung procurement. So maraming mga procurement na June, July, August na nasimulan.
May dahilan po ba kung bakit June, July, August na nasimulan ang mga proyekto?
Madam Chair, dahil kailangan marami pong mga attachments na nire-require para sa procurement, and lahat po ng mga documents na yon ay hindi po siya nakukuha ng isa o dalawang araw lamang.
So, middle of the year pa po na naisaayos ang requirements for bidding. Parang ganun po. Tama po ba ang intindi ko?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Ngayon, mabalik po tayo sa last August 8, 2024, nag-issue po ng Notice of Disallowance ang COA, Commission on Audit, sa 73.28 million na halaga ng confidential funds for 105 activities supposedly held by the Office of the Vice President from December 13 to December 31. Sabi ng COA ay wala raw accomplishment reports na naipakita or sinubmit ang Office of the Vice President para dito at inaatas na o inuutos na ibalik ang pera ng Vice President ni Gina Acosta bilang Special Disbursing Officer at ni Julieta Villa del Rey bilang Chief Accountant. Mag-iisang taon na po, ayon sa COA rules ay may 6 months po para mag-appeal. Ano na po ang status ng Notice of Disallowance na ito?
Madam Chair, I suggest that the Congressman ask this during the hearing of the Commission on Audit.
Madam Chair, I'm asking the question now from the Office of the Vice President.
Madam Chair, this is a status of documents inside the Office of the Commission on Audit. So it has to be the Commission on Audit who will answer what is happening to this Notice of Disallowance.
Nagsubmit po ba ng appeal ang Office of the Vice President sa Notice of Disallowance?
Kung yung Congressman Tinio, kung ang Notice of Disallowance was rectified by COA, wala na po yun. Pero kung yung Notice of Disallowance ay meron na silang final adjudication and then merong order yon na final yung Notice of Disallowance. So, for your information, I will check with COA and get the records and give it to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. Well, next question po ay kaugnay po sa Notice of Disallowance. Ang sabi po kasi ng COA, December 30, yung mga 105 activities na inilunsad dun sa mga disilaw na activities ay nangyari between December 13 to December 31. And yet, sa mga nakaraang hearing ay napag-alaman po na December 20 pa po na ilabas ang SARO at na-withdraw yung 125 million. Kaya nga sinasabing nagastos ito in 11 days from December 20 to December 31. So ang tanong lang po natin, ano po ang paliwanag doon sa nakapamahagi na kayo ng mga sinasabing reward money noong December 13 pa lamang samantalang hindi pa po lumalabas ang pera ng confidential funds. Pwede po bang may paliwanag yon?
Madam Chair, this is the subject of an impeachment trial and I would not like to discuss the defense for the impeachment trial.
Representative Tinio, please proceed with the next question.
Madam Chair, I would just like to note na wala pong impeachment trial sa kasalukuyan, Madam Chair. In fact, it is archived in the Senate. No? Okay, so next question na po. No? Lumabas din po sa nakaraang mga hearing sa House na nag-submit po ang Office of the Vice President ng 2,670 accomplishment reports at kasama para po sa liquidation ng 500 million pesos worth of confidential funds under the Office of the Vice President. At ayon sa investigasyon ay 1,322 out of 1,992 names in the OVP ARs submitted to the PSA have no birth records. So kasama po dito yung mga pangalang Mary Grace Piatos, Fernando Tempura, meron pang shell joke, no?
Kindly wind up your question.
Again, pwede po bang mapaliwanag ng Vice Presidente kung bakit ganon ang sinabit at bakit walang supporting documents ang mga accomplishment reports na ito?
Madam Chair, again, first, if the committee would like to ask how the Commission on Audit conducts its audit, I request that all the questions be propounded during the hearing of the Commission on Audit. Second, the subject confidential funds is a matter in impeachment proceedings, which is archived, but there is a pending motion for reconsideration in the Supreme Court. I cannot discuss defense strategy. Number 3, I cannot discuss intelligence operations and cannot explain how intelligence operations are done without compromising national security.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My next question.
Congressman Tenyo, last question.
Opo, last question.
Please wind up.
Opo. So, napabalita po, no, na mula July of last year hanggang sa kasalukuyan ay meron pong 13 trips ang Vice President overseas, no? So mula po sa Germany, Japan, Hong Kong, Netherlands, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, Australia, South Korea, Kuwait, Paris, at several po sa Netherlands. Umaabot po sa at least 60 days po na on leave ang presidente at marami po pero hindi lahat ay sinasabing personal leave, no? So sa mga trips po na ito, ilan po ang naging personal leave at ilan ang on official duty at magkano po ang total na budget na ginastos ng Office of the Vice President para sa mga official leave at personal leave na nangyari?
So,
Madam Chair, yes.
Last question, Madam Vice President.
Yes. Madam Chair, may I ask what date do you want me to start with the destinations? July 2024.
Napitsa daw yun.
Mr. Chair, from July 2024, a personal trip to Germany.
Okay.
Then January 2025,
July 24. We'll
personal
start.
Trip to Japan, and so on.
Yes. We'll start with July 2024. So, number 1, under the Civil Service Commission rules, there is no allotted leave for the President and Vice President. We cannot both file a leave. So the only thing that I need when I travel overseas is a travel authority from the Office of the President. All my travels were issued travel authority by the Office of the Vice President. And this implies that all these trips were approved by the Office of the Vice President. So, from July 2024, I went to Germany. In December 2024, I went to Denmark. In January 2025, I went to Japan. In the 3rd and 4th week of January, I went back to Japan. In February of last 3rd week and last week of February, I went back to Japan. On March, I went to Hong Kong. On March, I went to the Netherlands. On May, I went to Qatar and the Netherlands. On June, I went to Vietnam, Cambodia, and Malaysia. On June, I went to Australia. On July, I went to the Netherlands and the Republic of Korea. And very recently, from August to September, I went to Kuwait, the Netherlands, France, and Belgium. And number 3, no public funds were used for all my travels. I did not charge representation. I did not charge tickets. I did not charge per dime for all my travels in the office of the Vice President. So if you can see in the breakdown of the budget of travel for office of the Vice President, you can see that there was a 0 amount for the Vice President.
Thank you, ma'am.
Madam Chair, Chair, just to follow up on the question, so una po, salamat po sa Vice
I'm
President
sorry,
for
Congressman Tenyo,
detailing.
that was your last question. I'm sorry.
Follow up na lang po yung
I'm sorry.
personal po ba ang
I'm
lahat
sorry. In the
at
interest of time, we have to proceed.
magkano po ang ginastos ng opisina at staff? Kasi totoo po, wala daw ginastos ang Vice Presidente.
Parliamentary inquiry.
I'm sorry.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Parliamentary inquiry. Madam Chair, I thought we are going to accord institutional courtesy to the office of the Vice President. Bakit po natin binabanatan? Bakit natin tatanungin?
It's already settled that we'll just giving
Mr. Chair,
questions from the minority. Okay?
Mr. Chair, hindi po,
5 minutes each.
wala pong binabanatan dito. I take exception
the other members from making a manifestation.
I take exception to the use of the term binabanatan. Nagtatanong lang po tayo rito at lihitin mo naman po ang mga tanong.
Madam Chair.
So maybe I ask the Congressman.
Mr. Chair, may we request for a suspension of
Session
the...
suspended. Hearing suspended. Hearing is resumed.
Madam Chair, I would like to correct myself. I was informed that I mentioned that the travel authority is approved by the Office of the Vice President. The travel authority is approved by the Office of the President. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. The correction is duly noted.
Yes, Madam Chair, may I move that we strike out the word binanatan uttered by Rep. Marcoleta. Wala naman pong binabanatan.
Second.
There is a motion to strike off from the record the terminology binabanatan. It has been duly seconded. The motion is carried.
Madam Chair, just a 1-minute manifestation on the striking of the record. I have no objection. However, I just want to explain that in the previous debates, in the previous legislatures before us, in the interim Batasang Pambansa, when an assemblyman from the city of Manila was attacking the late president, there was a motion to strike off the record of what he discussed on the floor. The former assemblyman Arturo Tolentino said that if you strike off the record, any sentence or paragraph, it's just the same sentences, and you strike it, so you still can read that. So that was clear that I think that the procedure is still the same. The statement of banatan, i-cross lang yan, but it's still there in the records. Sinabi ko lang yun because there was already clarified many years ago by former assemblyman who became...
Duly noted, this time we will use eraser. Okay?
Yes.
Thank you.
Pero ngayon may video na.
Okay. Going to the next from the minority leader, Congresswoman Reneco. Please go ahead.
Good morning to the Vice President. Good morning to my colleagues. I'd like to take off po sa questioning ni Representative Tino. Meron po kasing minention na list of destinations na tinake ni Vice President this year under Travel Authority. But we like to take note na in a press conference of the Office of the Vice President, meron pong security and staff na kasama si Vice President. So can we ask po, no, paano po pinapondohan yung pagpunta, flight and accommodations ng staff and security ng OVP?
Madam Chair, may I be allowed to ask a question?
Depende sa nature, Madam Vice President.
Yes. Magpinsan po ba si Congressman ko ngayon tsaka si Zaldico?
Ano po yun?
Mr. Chair, I can answer.
Are they relatives, sir?
Please answer, Congresswoman Rene.
I have no familiar relation po to Zaldico or to Representative Zaldico or any of their relatives po.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Let me just look for.
Please go ahead, ma'am.
Look for the slide, sir. So, Madam
Vice
Chair.
President, please go ahead.
Yes. So, we are talking about international travels, no, as of July 31. So, for two travels in Southeast Asia, for the security, it's 474,646.93 pesos. And for the OVP personnel, these are for two trips, 463,733.6 for a total of 938,379.99. For one trip to Australia, for the security, it's 438,383.26. And for the OVP personnel, it's 206,988 for a total of 645,371. For the Middle East and Europe, 3 trips, the total is for the security is 2,922,869.98. And then for the OVP personnel, that's 329.47 for a total of 4,748,199.45. For 3 trips in East Asia, the security budget was 1,141,937, and for the OVP personnel, 0, because they did not join these trips. And the total is 1,141,937. The total for 9 trips for both the security and OVP personnel is 7,473,887.70.
Thank you, Madam Vice President. Congresswoman ko.
Mr. Chair, may we request a detailed copy of the report that the Vice President gave in relation po sa spending po ng security and staff for foreign trips abroad.
We will request the Office of the Vice President to supply the committee with such record. Thank you, Madam.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to ask another follow-up question. Ilan po yung staff and security na dala po ng Office of the Vice President in these trips na funded po, na of this breakdown ng fund na binigay?
Luoy na kayo mong naong, sir, ba? Kanang. Madam Chair, for the security, I understand they recommend, the Armed Forces of the Philippines recommend 3 to 4 security personnel, but the Office of the Vice President only approves 2 security personnel. And for the Office of the Vice President personnel, that's one ceremonial and diplomatic affairs employee, one for MPRD, that is the Media Relations and Public Affairs Division, and then one for as assistant to the Vice President. So those are the approved personnel who joins the Vice President in her trips.
So to clarify, Mr. Chair, these personnel in total ay sinagot ng OVP fund of totaling 7.4 million pesos sa ating mga foreign trips.
Madam Chair, not all foreign trips, as I mentioned. Security is always recommended by the Armed Forces of the Philippines, but some trips do not have OVP personnel because there are only 3 trusted OVP personnel who can do the work that I demand from them, and sometimes they are not available.
Okay. Congresswoman Go.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So to confirm, ito pong mga trips na to that was mentioned, are these trips personal in nature that required po yung presence ng personnel and staff?
Yes, Mr. Chair, I believe, with all due respect with my colleague in the minority, I believe the question is irrelevant. Because even if the Vice President travels on her personal capacity, we cannot disassociate herself from the office of the Vice President. She's still the Vice President. Exactly. The reason for the travel is business, but she could also travel in her personal capacity, but she's still the Vice President. So I believe the question is irrelevant. With all due respect with my colleague.
Mr. Chair,
thank you.
Just to respond po, no, this is just a mere question, whether the nature of the trip is personal or business po, no, or whether it's official. This is a question that I'd like, that could be posed, and I hope to post po to the Madam Vice President.
Madam Chair, it depends. If I have activities for the Office of the Vice President abroad, the 3 OVP personnel join the trips. But if the trip is purely personal and I do not have events for the Office of the Vice President, they do not join the trips. So in the graph, in the table that I mentioned earlier, those were the trips that the 3 personnel from the Office of the Vice President joined. But in the case of security personnel, this is something that is beyond the Office of the Vice President. It is decided by the Armed Forces of the Philippines.
Thank you, Madam Vice President.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Hope satisfies your question.
Thank you. My next question is in relation po to a line of questioning and in relation to the unqualified opinion that the COA issued to the Office of the Vice President. But after that, 60 days was provided to the Office of the Vice President to issue corrections po to certain errors made. Upon questioning the COA in its budget hearing, nagbigay po sila ng additional details kung saan may nakita daw po kasing 3.8 million pesos worth of equipment not accounted for in the OVP submission. Ito po ay mga errors found in the 2024 annual audit report. Can the Vice President explain this error po, Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair, the Office of the Vice President from 2022, 2023, and 2024 received unmodified opinions from the Commission on Audit. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my colleagues in the Office of the Vice President for being faithful to transparency and accountability in our office. The reason why we have comments from the office, the Commission on Audit, is because of system and improvement in processes. So these are basically documentations that the Commission on Audit require of transactions. And we have already updated our manual of operations in the OVP to reflect comments from the auditors.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And if you can, if possible, if that is not classified, you can give a list to the committee para kami na po magbigay doon sa minority. Thank you very much.
The manual of operations, sir? Okay, sir. Let me just discuss this with the executive committee. Kasi pinaghirapan din namin dito, Sir Gawin. Baka kopyahin lang din ng minority.
It's your prerogative, Madam Vice President.
But in relation to that po, Mr. Chair, we would be interested in the report kung ano po yung 3.8 million pesos that required correction po doon sa COA audit report in 2024. Would that be possible po, Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair, as I said, all questions about all documents inside the Commission on Audit is best to be directed to the auditors or the representatives of COA in the budget hearings. Thank you.
But with all due respect, to follow up that po, the COA specifically sought correction because po may nakita pong 3.8 million pesos that is not accounted for in the submission by the OVP. So the burden of the submission is actually with the following agency. So, which is why in the exercise of legislative oversight, we would like to be enlightened kung ano po yung error na po ito. And tama po, para maiwasan in the future, a report po on what it is would be appreciated. So, ang question ko po is, would that be possible po, Mr. Chair?
Madam Chair, usually the Commission on Audit, the auditors, review documents, and sometimes they do not see the attachments in the correct submissions. Sometimes the attachments that are required are found in other submissions and reports. And these attachments are required by auditors in every report. That is why right now we already have a checklist. If this is the process, if this is the project, there is a checklist on the attachments because auditors review the documents and the auditors require the attachment of documents, and sometimes these documents are not attached to a specific report. So what we did, Madam Chair, is create a checklist and to improve the system. The personnel from the Office of the Vice President go through the checklist before they submit.
Okay. Anything else, Congresswoman Ko?
Just to clarify, therefore, dahil po naibigay yung explanation na yon, is the Office of the Vice President explaining that this is the explanation for that 3.8 million necessity for correction?
This is the explanation why we have an unmodified opinion. Wala po silang nakitang nawawala. Nawawala po yung papel dahil naka-attach siya sa ibang document. At ang gusto ng COA ay specific yung mga dokumento na ina-attach per submission.
In the interest of time, ako na lang mag-volunteer niyan na Congresswoman Ko. Hingin ko sa COA yung detalya ng 3.8 kung gusto mo. I promise to give it to you in the least possible time. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for that response. My next question would be in relation po, and we're asking this question po, Mr. Chair, dahil kung may necessity for correction for this 2024 audit report, and then meron pong other audit reports in the past that have found that there are deficiencies and delays, gusto nating hindi na po mangyari siya. Can I ask Mr. Chair, what assurance do the people have na sumusunod na ngayon ang Office of the Vice President sa guidelines on disbursement and other proper fiscal procedures, given that there were reports last year that hindi po ito na sunod po according to procurement guidelines po?
Mr. Chair, Again, with all due respect with my colleague, the
Sandali.
office of the Vice President is
Please wait to be
Order,
acknowledged.
please. You're not acknowledged.
Please wait to be acknowledged by the chair. We'll let the
Is that the last question, Madam Vice President?
We'll let the Madam Vice
You have the
President
option
to respond.
Respond or not?
My apologies, Vice Chair Pepito Alvarez. May I request for an orderly conduct of the hearing for the members to please wait to be acknowledged by the chair before you make a statement. Thank you very much. The floor is now with the Vice President to respond to the question of Representative Go.
Yes, Madam Chair, as I said earlier, I don't know if everyone heard it. Every time we receive a comment from an auditor, we update our manual of operations.
In order no missing items would be in the next expenditure program. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. Congresswoman Ko, that winds up your
Thank
questioning.
you for that response, Mr. Chair. This will be my last question po.
Okay.
In relation po doon sa ibang mga items in the budget before, we have taken note that if confidential funds of the Office of the Vice President, according and as revealed to the good governance hearings, was dispersed to the security heads or the VP-SPG. May I ask po, no, bakit po dispersed siya to the VP-SPG or the security heads, pero ang nakalagay sa Joint Circular Number 2015-1 issued by DBM and COA that it should be dispersed to the Special Dispersing Officer?
Madam Chair, this is the confidential funds is a subject of impeachment proceedings. Is a subject of the articles of impeachment from the House of Representatives, and I would not like to discuss the defense strategy, particularly because the prosecutors will come from the House of Representatives.
Okay, Mr. Chair, my final question.
No,
Ito na
I'm
po
sorry.
yung last one.
I'm sorry.
Hindi na po siya
That's
part
the
of
last question.
individual-
Madam
Yes,
Chair,
I'm
po,
sorry.
Mr. Chair.
I'm sorry, that's the last question.
Madam Chair, may I be recognized?
Yes, Senior Deputy Minority Leader.
I move that we terminate the budget hearing on the proposed budget.
Second.
Second
the motion.
Budget hearing for the Office of the Vice President is hereby terminated. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Her Excellency, the Vice President, Sara Zimmerman Duterte, and to all the members of the Committee on Appropriations for today's hearing. Thank you very much po, Madam Vice President. May I solicit another motion from the body?
Madam Chair, I move to suspend the hearing until 1:30 p.m.
Second
today.
the motion,
To
Madam
give
Chair.
way to the hearing of the Department of National Defense at 1:30 p.m., the budget hearing is hereby suspended.